Salud, amigos, tripulantes
Welcome, friends, crew members of our beloved, polluted, and unique spacecraft, which, since the last time we met, has taken another turn about its imaginary axis and continues creating developments in full development. But it is, however, Friday. Thank God it's Friday. What a week this has been. But the events will not stop happening during Saturday and Sunday. If there was something very special, then we would go and create a new program. This is not to alarm you, but we always have our finger in the trigger for the information coverage. But now,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Pax Boris. As you know, this is a tradition in Dossier, and yours truly, your producer, wishes you peace, and this comes from the three most important monotheistic religions of the world. All of them meet in Jerusalem. The Messiah interest of some of them are generating problems, and they're violating all the resolutions of the United Nations because Jerusalem has an international status, whether they like it or not, whether those who have their embassy now there. The resolutions of the United Nations were the ones that created the new state of Israel. But when it goes beyond their needs for messiahs, or whenever they need to charge millions of dollars for the financing of the elections of a given citizen, then they have the same idea as they had before. Double standards, of course, triple standards even. We are used to this. And today's topic is the Middle East, which is warming up, heating up. But with someone as Trump in the White House, the great powers that are affected often tend to react. Those who have always been the champions of neoliberalism don't have tariffs usually, but when things change, when things go south, they violate what they have always defended, and they start using taxes and tariffs. World wars had taken place for things more than this, but the problem is that now we are speaking English in the MAD style, M-A-D. This means mutual insured destruction. So you can see like bullies, whether you're Trump or whoever else. But if you press the button, there's no winner. There's just mutual destruction insured. And the Chinese ensure this will happen. So Trump may talk whatever he wants, but actions, I don't think he'll do any. So whatever the case may be, there are the events in full development. This is Realpolitik, and this is the Chancellery, a beautiful building in the Chancellery of China. There's press conferences many times a day, and let's listen to some of them. Hua Chunying, a spokesperson, stated that the representative of the United States is ridiculous and has underestimated the reduction of Chinese capacity for the digital interest, as well as the price the United States will need to pay for a deliberate act. This is a very interesting warning to the President of the White House. The nature of trade and economic relationships between China and the United States often showed beneficial results for both parties. A simple example is that whenever we import a great amount of products at low cost and with China's labor, United States were able to reduce the cost for consumers in America, and they improved the surplus of the consumers, so they improved the benefits for the consumers of the United States. And the management of the economy in order to stop inflation in the United States. So from the micro or macro level, the United States get a lot of benefits. Thus, insisted the United States to continue with 301 with this verdict and leading to this trade war will set a negative example for American companies in the financial market. We've all seen the news about the memorandum memorandum yesterday, the three main actions taken by the United States, which led to lower values. I believe that this is the vote of the financial market, of untrust in the politics and decisions made incorrectly by the government of the United States. She also spoke about the concern of the international community due to the actions carried out by the United States. Now, China will decide to strike, and their standpoint is clear, and the best education is not to do the same, to wait until the end, to understand whether the United States will work based on Chinese policies and take decisions. What's behind this? Well, the best steel and aluminum that is produced outside of the United States by these powers. So, as the United States cannot compete, they start working with tariffs and taxes. So, the most important people of the United States apparently use the boldness of a king and the capacity of China to defend their interests, while the private United States should pay for their act that has it voluntarily wrong, and they'll have to do so and pay for it. A simple example of this is whenever you import a lot of product at low cost and with labor from China, the United States were able to reduce the cost for American consumers. So they improve their life quality, they improve the surplus of the consumer, and increased benefits for the United States and consumers. And this is microscopic but useful in order to reduce inflation in the United States. So at the micro and macro spectrum, the United States get the best type of benefits. Now, Beijing, China. The adjustment in tariffs from the United States and exploitation of China will bring prejudice to the consumers throughout the world. Chen Monan, researcher of the International Center for Research of China, states, let's say that the United States increases tariffs to China, so the cost of imports for raw materials and other imported products will increase too, which will have considerable damage in world trade as well as in the interest of consumers. This was stated by Chang Monan, researcher for the Center of Exchange in China. Shan, in this interview, has stated the truth about this. And here we can see the containers of the huge market that is China. Zhu Shengguan, economics professor of the University of International Business, also had his statement and said, Apple's iPhone is a basic example of how an article is produced in the world chain globally. China creates their value, especially on the assembly line. Usually, the increase of value is of 6%, which lets 94% of the value come to other countries. When we talk about trade, it is simply reflected on their export, 100% from China. So, it is something we need to pay attention to when trying to understand this important trade deficit.
Agricultural exports into China, and we're talking there about a $14 billion soybean industry, for instance, that largely depends on Chinese demand.
The chief of capital market, Bill Blaine, stated, people believe that Chinese will just lay down and expect for their stomachs to tickle, and they will accept this after some years. These are the unfair topics. Some expect a massive rejection as well as an attack to the agricultural exports of the United States to China. And we're speaking about an industry of soybeans that add up to $14 billion US that depends widely on Chinese demand. So if China decides not to purchase soy any further, this whole structure will collapse. Technology and assembly of modern products, all of this competes in quality and quantity as very few others. And for this, Bill Blaine states, it is not conventional. This is the key word for this year, because often we don't expect any trade wars. that are unconventional, that generate positive profit. But maybe we could have some surprise in this case, and China is still firm.
Recibiendo al
welcoming
welcoming
the President of the United States.
Certainly have a lot of heft, but it could just play to the
Los aranceles comerciales de Estados Unidos son ante todo una iniciativa política.
Are a political initiative from the United States. The economic case seems to be very weak.
And Mike England
said, the role of the United States includes China, that could include economists and nationalism. That was what brought Trump to the presidency. With this, already the EU is already afraid. There is a lot of trade, and the products from China have great technological and quality value.
Then, so long as the U.S. doesn't respond in kind, then, fair enough, we can all walk away and say...
Si recibimos una modesta represalia de parte de los chinos y la Unión Europea, tanto Estados Unidos no responda de la misma manera,
something from the Chinese, the United States might not answer the same way. It will tell that these are reminiscence of many of the tax and tariff problems that we've had during the last 15 years. If the United States would answer with more tariffs and had any type of help against us, then we will have an uncharted area, which is as well very dangerous. Market analyst Ken Odeluga also had his word about it. And these are events in their full development.
To spiral out of control, I think there's every risk of that. I think we're.
I'm not unsure that this will spiral out of control. There is a lot of risk, and I think that we face a status of a high risk for this to take place. However, we're not at the edge of the abyss. Trump thinks about imposing tariffs, which is a use of intellectual property, according to him, of the United States. Last year, there was a research under Section 301 of the Trade Law of the United States in 1974, and in a presidential memorandum signed by Trump on Thursday, there is going to be a 30-day term consultation once a list of Chinese products is shown or presented. Those who speak about free trade are facing full protectionism and increasing taxes and tariffs. They're eating crow and their own doctrine. Whenever the United States cannot compete, this is what they do. They eat crow. Peter Meyer, Ministry of Economy from Germany. It's clear that all efforts to avoid this commercial conflict was justified. That's why my visit to the United States with my colleague, Wilbur Rose, and the Commercial Representative, Robert Jair, for supporting the position of the Commission, and Cecilia Armstrong too. I am very happy and relieved, based on what I said yesterday. An exception for Europe could actually take place.
Auch die Position der Europäischen Kommission, die Position von Cecilia Malmström zu unterstützen und vorzubringen. Und ich bin sehr froh und sehr erleichtert, dass es gelungen ist.
He continued, this is an important news and it's great for all the employees of the steel and aluminum industry. But it's also important because free and fair trade between Europe and the United States is extremely important, and we need to avoid an escalation in this area. But he also says, there's more that puts us together than divides us. We all have the same interest in having a free commercial relationship between countries, no tariffs, with no taxes, but only whenever it's fair. In that case, will be free trade.
Wir sollten alles tun, eine Eskalation in diesem Bereich zu vermeiden.
Me gustaría tener una atmósfera constructiva en las próximas
semanas
con debates objetivos que
a
conduzcan a soluciones aceptables. Y es por eso que no puedo decir
for
hoy
further
lo que en
debates.
última instancia
So I
estaremos
cannot
de
state
acuerdo
today what will
cada
be
6,
the
8, 10
agreement,
semanas y tratando
and
de
every
ajustarlo,
6, 8, or 10 weeks we're going to try to adjust this.
Als uns trennt,
luego,
alle ein Interesse daran, dass der
Then,
frei ist, also ist er aber auch fair verläuft, denn nur wenn er fair ist, ist er auch wirklich frei.
jefe de análisis de capitales
after the
del
analysis
Bader
of capitals from the Bader Bank, Robert Halfbank states, DAX did not do things correct. We have 12,000 points. We are no longer scared of the rates of interest and tariffs. And while he was saying this, the other person was saying this, what we just saw. Minister of Economy from Germany, who welcomed the decision of Donald Trump to temporarily exclude countries from the European Union of the highest rights of export to the United States. And here we're back with the steel and aluminum. And he requested more international cooperation for trade. In the meantime, Trump stated on Thursday that he was going to exempt tariffs for the EU, the biggest commercial partner of the United States, as well as for Argentina, Australia, Canada, Mexico, and South Korea. Tariffs will be suspended until May 11th. Well, discussions are still on the table. I'm very happy and relieved, stated by Peter Meyer to the journalist in Berlin. In Frankfurt, DAX went below 12,000 points, and a trader stated that the fear of tariffs had taken over this. Take a look at the lines that go down. The EU states that Trump has them between a rock and a hard place, and they look for the permanent exemption of tariffs. Brussels, Belgium, a helicopter flying over the European Council. You can see flags from Europe. We have Emmanuel Macron, we have Prime Minister of Spain, Rajoy, Antonio Costa from Portugal too, who are walking to the European Council. Then Macron and Rajoy, as well as Costa, get inside the building. Angela Merkel, Chancellor, leaving her vehicle. Merkel entering the building. Theresa May, British Prime Minister, also walking towards the European Commission building after Angela Merkel. Theresa May stated, we have been working very hard to create an exemption of the EU for the steel tariffs that the United States have stated. I am happy to see the temporary exemption with the European Union, so I work with colleagues from the EU to ensure a permanent exemption for the EU for the steel tariffs. And we also spoke about further steps. I am here to speak about next steps because the steel industry could be very important for the metal industry in the future, between the UK and the British government too. I want to ensure that steel workers and their jobs are duly protected. Charles Michel, Prime Minister of Belgium, said last night Donald Trump did not sign any legal document, so there's still doubt about the decision made. Secondly, if Trump's decision is made, it will be confirmed with a gap of months or weeks, and the United States seem to be willing to negotiate with the EU, but they put us between a rock and a hard place. Sebastian Kurz talks to the journalists by stating with the Austrian Chancellor that President Trump is making the wrong decision, so there will be an energetic comeback from the EU. So Trump will not be able to have a loyal dispute with them. Paolo Gentiloni was entering the room, then Viktor Orban, then Mark Rutte from the Netherlands, who's also, together with Jean-Claude Juncker, President of the Commission of Europe, then Michel greeting and Juncker. Michel was greeting Juncker. Juncker was speaking with Michel too. Tusk, who takes the position he should occupy. They say hi with Ratas. And Orban shakes Prime Minister of Croatia, Plenković's hands. Plenković are having a discussion. This is the usual way of working before these events. The leaders of the European Union have requested a temporary exemption of the import tariffs of steel and aluminum and trying to make them permanent because they stated they will respond personally in order to respond to the interest of the EU. So if this happens, there's going to be a trade war between EU and the U.S. thanks, of course, to Mr. Trump. The 40-day exemption granted by Washington was as if the President of the States would put a gun in her head, stated by the Prime Minister of Belgium. And Theresa May stated that the UK will try to look for a permanent exemption, and they will work for this. Trump said on Thursday that he was going to suspend tariffs for the EU, the greatest commercial partner of the United States, as well as for Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and South Korea. Tariffs will be suspended until May 11, while discussions are still being held. This is a U.S. Navy ship that's near the coast of China. Take a look at the size of this ship, as well as its capacity for firing missiles. This ship is preparing to reload with the tanker of the fleet. They will get oil at sea level, and the missiles are sent from the cask. These are classified as part of the training exercise for missiles. This ship is in the Philippine Sea during the drill, and then it changed areas from one to a different area. And Mustang is the leadership of other defense ships of the U.S. Navy in training exercises. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia. Talks between the United States and Saudi Arabia were focused on Iran. This is an important press conference. Adela Jubeir states, I would not describe John Bolton, a friend of mine, as a hawk. This is reasonable when you talk about Iran, and their position against Iran is decent. They have decided to reach an agreement. We're missing something, but we expect to work with him, and we want to cooperate with him, and we expect him to do his work, and this will be good for the country and the world. After another question, the Prime Minister responded, the nuclear agreement itself, whether it is fixed or not, will not solve the problem of aggressive policies from Iran unless we speak about ballistic missiles and we speak with terrorism and the interference in other countries. There is discussions between European countries and the United States about how we can manage Iran's problem comprehensively. This is still an ongoing discussion, and when asked about an effective means to treat the Iran's problem, would be positive. If not, we'll seek different means, seek further means to ensure that Iran will get rid of its aggressive policies or pay the price for this. See the threat that he is providing? So, administration stated they're going to take this seriously. The agreement will be renewed on May 12th. That's why we're going to consult the administration as the date approaches.
Are you expecting
He was asked about what are the other powers doing and what is Iran doing. And he said Iran has no role in Yemen. The only thing that Iran has done in Yemen is destructive by providing missiles to a terrorist army that then uses these missiles against civilians in both Yemen and Saudi Arabia. So Iran has nothing to do in Yemen. Another question was answered by Jubair.
Is something that cannot stand. With regards to Iran's role, as I mentioned, Iran has no role to play.
In regards to Iran's role, there is no role for Iran in Yemen. They must leave Yemen, and they need to stop supplying ballistic missiles to the terrorist armies. They need to comply with foreign affairs. We are discussing with all the workers of both governments for this. We are speaking with other countries in regards to nuclear energy for peaceful plans. These discussions are already in progress, but I want to talk about specifics.
Influence and role in the Middle East, and what conversations you've had with U.S. officials.
With Russia, the fact is that Russia is a major power.
El hecho de que Rusia sea una gran
The fact that
potencia,
Russia is
ha
a
tenido
great
un largo
power
compromiso con la
means
región.
that Russia has held a great commitment with the region. Now the issue is to understand whether we can work with Russia to stabilize the region. This would be positive. We've held good relations with Russia, but during the last 3 years we've had open, honest, and straightforward discussions with Russia about the challenges of the region. There has been certain cooperation in areas with Russia about extremism, terrorism, counterterrorism, and we would like to continue working with Russia to see what's the role that they can play positively in order to bring stability, security, and peace to the region.
Vaya, parecía que hablaba como hablaban antes de Estados Unidos.
He speaks as people used to speak about the United States, right? So we're looking for partners. We want the United States to be our main partner in order to implement this vision. Now he tied things up, right? We're going to look for partners in every industry, whether technology, financing, manufacturing, defense, sanitary assistance, in order to participate in bilateral investments. We would like to invest in these companies as we've done in other companies, and we would like these companies to also invest in the Saudi Arabian kingdom. Arabia has many projects being planned as of now. Well, for the first of Saudi Arabia showed that Iran must leave Yemen, and there's other problems nuclear related to Iran. These are the most sensitive topics till now. They have been treated calmly, they have been studied, and with a very well prepared speech. Okay, the satellite monitors allow me to see this. I see 3 of them, but nothing is changing the plans for the second block of this program. Should it be the case, we'll let you know and we'll talk about this. Short break and we'll come back with events at their full development. Stay where you are.
Dossier.
We are back with the events in full development, and I have communication from the Army of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela speaking about the training ship Velas Latinoamericanas. Friday, March 23, a school trip, Simon Bolivar ship, complying with the roadmap for Velas Latinoamericanas 2020, is now in the Guanabara Bay. That's a beautiful landscape. They went via water and, of course, not via air. Guanabara Bay is beautiful. I had the chance of experiencing it intensely. They are there now, next to Cristo y Corcovado. Cadets were instructed based on groups with calculations of the Navy, communications, and completing the study plan Simon Bolivar. The preparations for the second port to be visited in the ship. This happens in the Bay of Guanabara, but they have not actually reached the city of Rio yet. They have not set sails yet in the country of Brazil. This will happen on Sunday, starting at 8 a.m. Cadets were trained about calculations, communications. There was nuvolosity as well as rains, good visibility as well as moderate in certain areas, with waves up to 1.2 meters. Other waves add up to 1.8 meters. Now we're going to talk about different words. We are going to talk about the hull. The hull is the most important part of the ship because it's the one that allows it to float, and it is beyond or below the cask. Antonio Mejia Ponte, captain of the ship, and coordination direction, Marcos Charanta, chief and commander of the Bolivarian Navy. With no further ado, we cannot wish them anything better because they've already reached a beautiful place, and I hope that all will have the chance of going up to Cristo Corcovado, one of the most beautiful monuments in the world. Now let's take at the events in full development. There's a lot of truths out here that are clearly stated, and they come from the residence of the executive of Venezuela. And we need to listen to this. People from the nation. Venezuela has complied with all its protocol for announcement, launching, and organic, financial, and monetary for cryptocurrency of the world by taking strong steps and being completely serious, because every step taken during the last few months has been able to position in an impressive way the cryptocurrency Petro. There are no further currency or financial spaces that don't speak about the Petro. Even in Washington, they are very motivated about the Petro. Because there were people in Venezuela saying, and they still do, in given sectors of the opposition, of the right wing of the country, that Petro was just an invention of Maduro, that Petro did not exist. And if Petro doesn't exist, then why is Mr. Donald Trump creating a decree about the Petro? I'm just saying, maybe he is just losing his time, the President of the States, creating decrees about things that do not exist. I don't think so, right? Petro exists. The Petro is born. Petro is here to revolutionize the crypto economy globally, as well as the cryptocurrency as a new way for commercial, financial, and currency exchange in the world. Many of the things that today we're doing are creating history. Just take a look. Israel announced last week the creation of their own cryptocurrency, with a backup in diamonds. But when Maduro said when the cryptomoneda, when the cryptocurrency was created with the backup in oil, they said that I was a donkey. Oh, but whenever it's Israel, they clap for them. Long live Israel. They're smart, aren't they? They're smart in Israel. No, Venezuela is writing a new page in the history of economics, in the resistance to the trade war, of the battle that we fought against every mechanism of prosecution, of economic blocking that American imperialism and the people working with them around the world have against Venezuela, of the aggression and prosecution of banking accounts. The financial life of the country, that all this financial prosecution gave us new ideas for Venezuela to dream about thriving, about growing, about developing. And the most powerful idea that was created has now become true, the creation of the Venezuelan cryptocurrency with oil as the backup. And blessed be this day, because this is the day that the petro is born for the prosperity of all. I would like to announce that soon, very soon, in the midst of April, in Venezuela, we're going to have the second world event for blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies as well. This will happen at the midst of that month. And in Moscow, during the next day, there's going to be a global conference. Is that right? Yes. A global conference where Venezuela will receive an acknowledgement, an award, a global award from all exchange offices for the creation of Petro as cryptocurrency. And we are building global relationships, geo-economic relationships internationally. And we are spreading and expanding the powerful idea of a new monetary world, of a new trade and financial world. We are expanding the wonderful idea of the petro. So I announced that for the middle of April, we will be talking about the date in the next days. This is the second global event of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in Caracas, Venezuela. And I would like to invite all the technologists around the world, all the people working with the exchange market, all cryptocurrencies of the world, all the people in the world who want to participate is invited to Caracas. Caracas will become the capital of cryptocurrencies globally. We are fighting for the truth. We have to widen our communication capacity for this. And through the social networks. Did you see the scandal with Facebook? Not a lot of things have been spread about Venezuela. There's a scandal with Zuckerberg. Do you know who Zuckerberg is? Those of you who don't know who Zuckerberg is, raise your hands. Well, look it up. Look it up. Yes, my friend. If you don't know this, raise your hand and look it up. Google it. Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook. Well, he is the creator of the greatest communication platform ever to exist. I really don't know how many people in the world have a Facebook account. 2 billion human beings. And there's a huge scandal that's been discovered in the United States. It's the most important scandal right now in the United States and Europe. It's not been something we've heard here a lot. It's been silenced by the media. It's a scandal because Mark Zuckerberg gave personal private data of Facebook data for electoral campaigns of Barack Obama, and then they were manipulated too for Donald Trump's campaign. Over 50 million accounts were used for manipulation of them, as well as for the electoral campaign of Mauricio Macri. 200 countries were subject. 200 electoral campaigns were manipulated. People just log into Facebook, they have their data, their live details, and then they segment public's opinion, and they work with public's opinion with secret data only managed by Facebook. This is a worldwide scandal. But whatever the case may be, I believe that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social networks could be the mechanisms that could help us reach the truth. Them with their manipulation, ourselves with the truth. That's why I'm putting my efforts in communication. So the reconversion of the currency is now a reality. I'm excited this right now for this to be a decree of Venezuela. Reconversion of the currency. June 4. June 4, Monday. New monetary point. New vision. So it's a monetary reconversion. We're going to get rid of 3 zeros. We're going to remove 3 zeros. And we're defending Bolivar. And we'll now catalog and concept this money as Solidary Bolivar. And I summon all Venezuelans, because we don't want to dollarize. We'll not be a colony for dollars. We are going to defend Bolivar. We're going to defend Petro. We're going to defend the sovereignty, both financial and economic, of our nation. I approve this. I approve the reconversion of the currency on June 4. And I want the support of the whole of Venezuela. I want all the support of national awareness. Approved. We need to defend the Bolivar. It's our currency. And they're offering the dollars they don't have, with no plans, by saying that Venezuelans are just doing anything, just thinking about dollars. Leave improvisation behind, Henry Falcon. Stop talking about this. Stop lying to people, Henry Falcon. Let's work with serious processes for strengthening the Bolivar and for strengthening the Petro as well. The Venezuelan currency and the cryptocurrency, both from Venezuela, Bolivar and crypto, will work together in communion and harmony for the stability of the country, to move forward towards the stability of the country. Here, I have the notes. Here are the notes that are going to be printed. Here, we're talking about coins. There's going to be a 50-cent Bolivar. This will be called real. Okay? Many of you don't even know what a medio is, or a locha. Well, if you don't know, look it up as well. Also, Bolivar as a currency. 1 Bolivar and 50-cent Bolivar. We have coins back. Now, we're going to take a look at the hero and martyr, Josefa Camejo. I would like to congratulate the Central Bank of Venezuela for the design of these new notes, of these new bills. Take a look. Josefa Camejo. This is the new note. Beautiful, beautiful. Behind, if you may allow me, a parrot. A parrot. A yellow head parrot. Beautiful, isn't it? And this is what we're going to have here. We're going to print it here. We're going to develop this. We're going to combine the Petro, which is the cryptocurrency, and the digital system for goods and services, together with the new notes. We're going to burn the notes that are being stolen from us. Those that you have, Juan Manuel Santos, those are going to be burned. So now everything's clear. Concepts are clear. Jorge Rodriguez, Vice President for Communication and Culture, Minister of the Popular Power for Communication, defends the truth of Venezuela against El País in Spain. Next Sunday, May 20, we're going to hold elections with a participation that other countries in the world envy. The Venezuelan electoral system is the most audited and best in the world. It is made up of people with the best of behaviors, as Jimmy Carter and other people in 2004. This is the same system where the opposition won the election in 2015. This is now armed with all the guarantees that have been signed an agreement that was pre-established in the Dominican Republic and then was signed between Henry Falcón from the opposition and President Nicolas Maduro as the candidate from the officialism. I don't know what are you trying to say with the word political prisoners. In Venezuela, there are politicians that have vulnerated our constitution, that have led to violence. Ask yourself, here in Spain, there's politicians that are now being tried. We're not talking about what matters in Spain, but now they're facing justice because some courts believe that they have violated, they have infringed laws on the Constitution of Spain. Now, the President has spoken, and Human Rights Council of the United Nations has approved a resolution presented by Venezuela in the Non-Aligned Countries movement by talking about coercive measures unilaterally against our countries. And about our country, Jorge Raza spoke. The Human Rights Council approves a resolution presented by Venezuela, Presidential MNOL, speak about coercive and unilateral measures. The voting was clear, and the arrogant looks and pretensions from the States and their allies with the triumph of multilateralism and peace. This is what was written by him on Twitter. The resolution had 28 votes in favor and 15 against, as well as the 3 abstentions, as well as all the pressure that silenced him and the others that were also spoken out loud. Now, Martin Vizcarra, first speech as President of Peru. The situation of instability and problems institutionally that no Peruvians would expect or would want to happen. This is the time to say stop. The events that have been known recently must establish responsibilities, and any irregularity will be sanctioned as it should. Justice will act independently, responsibly, and fastly. But at the same time, what has happened must set the final stage of a policy of hate and confrontation. This is after Pedro Pablo Kuczynski's renunciation after this. This is again all actions related to law, whatever they come from and whatever they cost. We will not shake, we will not shiver in order to use all the necessary measures to get Peru out of its current situation. Transparency will be the main pillar of our mandate, and we are fully committed to this mount and claim every corrupt scheme at work in every part of the Peruvian state. The division of powers is the basis of any democracy, and it is fundamental for none of the powers to take over the rights of others. I invoke you for respect, for tolerance, and for love to our nation as those that set the dynamics of this new stage. There's no time to waste. I salute all of you. May God bless our country, and long live Peru. Vizcarra was the first ambassador of Peru in Canada before replacing Pedro Pablo Kuczynski who quit this week against a claim that is almost certain.
Todos los componentes rinden honores al nuevo mandatario.
Now you can see the army honoring the new president.
Bueno, esto es algo de lo más reciente de la pauta de hoy.
This is part of the recent news of today, and whatever the case may be, there's many events in full development in Latin America and the Caribbean. Whatever the case may be, we wish the best to our friend and brother country Peru. The same for you in this weekend that promises to be, whatever the case, we have a lot of news. Well, this is interesting. Kuczynski told our president that he could not go to Lima, and our president said, I will go to Lima. But he was quiet, he was calm, he didn't emphasize anything. And this was God's hand. Well, the person who told him he was not allowed is no longer there, and our president is going there to show the democratic and solidary point of view of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. From Studio 3 of Venezuelan Television, the pioneering channel of Venezuelan TV, because it's the air of TVN 5 in Cerro Marin, in Charneca, where we start with the only civilian satellite that we had. At 2 p.m., it was a direct satellite. It was a time where no one watched information, only soap operas. And well, the result was that for the first time, an official channel earned the National Journalist Award, and I had the chance to work on this project. I wish you the best of weekends. Please don't take a look at the stats. Don't be part of the statistics, and we will meet on Monday, as every night, wherever you are on the other side of the screen, from Studio 3 of Venezuelan Television, the pioneering channel. Here we conclude this program. And it's Friday. Shabbat Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Pax Bobis. Remember, don't be part of the statistics. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you on Monday if God allows. From Venezuela Television, this is the end of Dossier for today. And yours truly, producer and host, wish you the best for this weekend. Cameras are yours, director.
Ballot next Wednesday in order to exercise their democratic right. Telesur comes along with this West Indian nation to offer you the best